So let's explore this idea of elite wargaming units and how to utilize them. And I'm going to be generalizing a little bit on this. We were leading into this vlog with some Battletech follow-up and some Battletech comments on specific units, very, very focused units. And I realized, hey, this is an important part to understand in your wargaming toolkit, regardless of the gaming system. So often what we see in wargaming is this idea of unit value. A number is attached: squadron points, battle value, points, power points. And the more points something costs, in theory, the better and more powerful it is. And the idea is when we approach a scenario, if it's a competitive war game, you have your points, I have my points, and we can create a list, and it's somewhat equal. It also represents this idea of how elite and special things are. Now I'm going to throw an example out here. Chain of Command World War II. Fantastic rule set. I've pushed up to my channel under the Chain of Command playlist examples of this rule set. When I'm playing my late war Germans for the tanks, I love Tiger tanks. I love the really, really powerful late war tanks and utilizing them on the table. With the game, you have your infantry, you have your units, and then you have points. Support points to buy different tanks. And you agree ahead of time. You know, do you have 3 points? Do you have 8? Do you have 10? And you can buy additional support teams. You can buy special weapons, off-table support. But generally speaking, if I take a Panzer III, you know, early war, mid-war, upgrade Panzer III, that's like 3 to 5 points. If I take a Tiger, that's like 8 to 10 points. So we see where it's like, wow, this tank is really expensive. It's really powerful, but it's really expensive. So what you'll see is this idea of elite units. They're very, very expensive because they can really be very, very powerful. So how do we utilize them? Because in an army, you want to have some balance, or a squadron, whatever it's going to be. You have 1 or 2 elite units. How do we leverage them? Now, there's this saying in the martial arts, which is true absolutely in wargaming. When 2 tigers fight each other, 2 powerful tigers, when 2 tigers fight each other, one is killed and the other is maimed for life. So if I take my elite unit and I'm like, yeah, this unit is jacked up, my super jacked up chaplain-led Terminators, and I go against your elite units because I'm like, look, you've got elite units. I'm going to go head-to-head. We're just going to bash each other. I'm going to use my elite unit to stop your elite unit. I could get lucky with the dice, but understanding the dice range, most likely what's going to happen is, best case, I obliterate you, but you take me to the point with losses and damage that my elite unit is now easily finished off by something else. So I never want to go elite to elite. I want to go elite to the weakest unit possible. Now, if that's all the way on the back end of the table, I might not be able to do that, but looking at movement, looking at tactics, looking at the mission, I want to gobble up easy to kill units per turn. So I run forward with my Terminators. I engage. I just slaughter you. I destroy a unit. Now you're like, wait, I just lost a unit. That impacts mission availability for objectives. That impacts battle points. If it's Battletech, that impacts initiative. If I take my mech and I just smash one of your light tanks, you just lost an initiative sink. And you lost an autocannon or some firepower on the table. I want to be destroying at least 1 or multiple units per turn with my elite unit. I want to just literally gobble them up. This creates an imbalance in that you start losing material, and even lighter units or lower battle value, squadron points, power points, currency units, that you have a finite amount of units at the game. This is what you have to win the mission. And as you take losses turn by turn, that becomes less and less and less. If I accelerate that curve and I'm destroying, my elites are destroying guaranteed 1 a turn, plus other units are taking out 1 or 2 a turn, by mid-game, you're going to have nothing left on the table. So leverage the elites against the weakest. Power curve or counter to that. If you have elite units, I want to speed bump them. I want to tie them up, meaning, can I slow them down? Can I take really, really small units and feed them to you, where you killed a unit, but it's a very, very small and inconsequential unit? Can I slow down your killie and feed you those small units? Or worse to worse, not that I want to, do I want to counter directly with an elite type unit? So understanding and filling in those blanks and that tactica based on what you have and what system you're playing, think about, and they're a lot of fun. I love elite units. I often overload up on elite units because I just love it. We go to battle and it's like a massive game, and I've got a couple of light infantry squads and 3 Tiger tanks, and like that's the whole thing. And you're like, Fritz, I outnumber you like 5-1. Like, I just love playing elite units, absolutely. But understanding ideally, or at least having that in your wargaming toolkit on how to utilize them.